Hello, hello. I'm back at this again today because I because I'm bored. I should be doing stuff for finals. I'm not. I'm reading fan fiction more than advised. So, but with all of that said, let's read general warning for this chapter. I put it in the title, but this chapter involves depictions of death. And it looks like it might have been suicide at this point. So it looks like that. Whether it is or not, that's a mystery. But it looks like it. So a warning for death and warning for suicide for anyone watching this. Uh with that said, let's That's let's read some fan fiction. All right, it's gonna be a fun one. I hope I haven't just horribly misremembered this, and I'm warning something that doesn't need to be warned. All right, Chapter 6: Pump Shanty. Dave, Dave, wake up! Jade shakes your shoulder, and you mumble unhappily at her waking you up. Dave, work is asking me if I can come in after all. Darvik got sick, and they really need the analysis for the Jade starts. You roll your face down on the pillow and make a noise of exhausted agreement. Anything to stop her shaking you. Are you going to be okay getting to your apartment? Have you got an alarm set? Jade asks. Jade asks, poking you in the arm until you rolled over. Yes, I'm fine. Go. You whine into the pillow. The pillow understands you and your needs. You and the pillow have good things going. The bed creaks under you as Jade stands up, and you go back to dozing, still half aware and tracking her around the hive as she gets ready for work as quickly as she can. Teal'c clinks into Beck's bowl as she feeds him breakfast, and he inhales it as fast as possible. Love you, bye! Jade whispers in a minty exhale and kisses your cheek. You mumble something into the same effect, but don't move. The door slides shut, and after a second or two, you lean up a little. Beck is breathing nearby on the floor by the side of the bed, and you only have to pat the sheets once for him to obediently leap up and press himself to your back. You smile and fall back to sleep once again. There's probably a word for what happened, where you know you have to get up for something and you've already woken up, the result being that you don't get back into a proper sleep cycle, but just lightly sleep for a bit. When you wake up properly, you stretch lazily and reach over to scratch Beck's chest. He is still happily snoozing next to you with no worries at all. You reach for your watch on your left wrist and press the dial in. What's the time? You ask it. The time is 10:45 a.m. Your watch answers you. Ugh. Your appointment is at 13:30, which is close enough that you don't want to be getting involved in doing much else, but far away enough that you're going to be bored waiting for it. You sigh and heave yourself upright. Beck, down, you tell him, and he obediently hops down off the bed. Carefully, you swing your legs over the side, not wanting to kick any wayward dogs who might be lingering nearby in the hopes of being allowed back on the bed. Beck has the good sense to be out of the way, and you're able to walk to the ablution block. You know how many steps it is from anywhere to anywhere else. Old habits you had a kid don't really go away. You get into the ablution block and sit down to pee because, first of all, you're blind and you don't like showing off to Beck. Secondly, you're not cleaning up after yourself if your aim isn't perfect. And third, you just woke up, so fuck any extra effort. When you're done, you wash and dry your hands and then grab for the toothbrushes in the cabinet. When you have a Jade's is the same just a different color to hers, which doesn't help you now. But the fact that her toothbrush handle is still damp does. See, you're not helpless. Jade never thought you were, but after you got your eyeballs all scooped out, she acts way more protective over you when they're out of commission. It makes you think that you didn't get just how bad your vision was beforehand. You could see light, shape, and color just fine, and reading wasn't a problem. Just fine, and reading wasn't a problem if the print was large enough or was as close to you, but you were mostly really good at guessing word by shape instead of actually seeing it. Expressions were hard to read on people, so you're just really good at tone. Your hearing is damn good, and you pick up way more subtle troll sounds than most humans. You've got perfect pitch, your spatial awareness is fantastic, and you're fine. Thank you. Stupid eyeballs! Who needs them? Sure, without them you can't see shit. It as you're going about, but now there's about now, but there's more to seeing than eyesight. Whatever, you have time to kill. May as well get brunch and a drink at the bar, get some music on, and then go see Equius. You dress and head out with your hand on Beck's collar, not because you need the guide, but more to stop people walking into you or expecting you to move out of their way. You ride the train perfectly happily to the nearest intersection and then hop into an elevator. The buttons are all in the buttons are all braille, which is a little jarring for you at times. Children have the equivalent to braille with their society because they were very firmly in the fuck people with disabilities mindset. You're fine with numbers, but whoever put the braille on the ship did it in English, which is a language that you don't speak at all, and sometimes they put it on backwards. No goddamn. Thankfully, the Alternian number on the button is ever so slightly raised, so you know what one you want by that. Anyway, you hit the button for the engineering deck and wait patiently until the elevator announces where you are. If you really couldn't read the buttons at all, you could be an asshole and drag your hands down all of the buttons and force everyone in here to go to every floor with you as you stand there helplessly blind. Fuck, you should do that at some point when you're with Teresi. She'd get a kick out of that. Once you're out of the elevator, you find that you're a little turned about, and it's only when Beck leads you past a repair shop that your mental map clicks in place, and you happily find out you've been walking the right way anyway. Score one for you. The Wild Rover is a nice enough bar, and as you as Beck head through the doorway, the barman calls out to you with a friendly hello. You wave back and keep heading towards the back. You can hear around you the chatter of regular sailors and engineers, all sorts of working people just enjoying a drink after their shift. You can even smell a good amount of coffee, too. Hey, Dave. Hook greets you. Ooh, and you hear her get up off her chair to let you through the back and into Tortuga. Hey, Chahut, how's it been? You ask as you pause in the somewhat hidden doorway. Not bad, not bad. Are you gonna play? She asks curiously. We'll see. You shrug. You might. She laughs and claps you on the shoulder. You slip through the doorway with Beck at your side, and the moment you're in Tortuga, a wave of people call out your name, and you can feel the thrum of appreciation for you being here. You grin at the room in general and let the sound of currently playing music get into your soul a little. The path to the bar is easy, especially because if someone was in your way, they'd definitely move out of it as quick as anything. Hey, can I get a coffee and something fried? Not stressed about what, actually, you ask, resting your forearm on the slightly sticky wooden part. Yeah, of course you can. I'll bring it over. Want that coffee Irish? Bartender asks. You know what? Fuck it. A guy's gonna have his fingers in my eye sockets soon, so anything to take the edge off. You laugh. Can do, the bartender says agreeably. Dave, come play! Someone calls from the stage. You're pretty sure that was RFE. Before you can answer, they start up a song that immediately brings a smile to your lips. Don't know this. Give me a sec. I'm going to look up what this song sounds like so I can sing it for you guys. Be right back. I should have looked this up sooner. Okay, I think I got it. I wish I was a Benjamin aboard a man of war. Sam's gonna away aboard a man of war. I wish there was the Benjamin aboard a man of war. Sam's gone away aboard a man of war. They sing as the banjo plays. Fuck it. You don't have your instruments with you, but Tortuga has its own, and you're happy to pick them up. You follow and singing. You follow the singing towards the stage, with Beck leading you a winding path between tables. Pretty work, brave boys, pretty work, I say. Some's gone away aboard a man of war. The group sings, and you know the next instrument picks up a mandolin. I wish I played the mandolin aboard a man of war. Some's gone away aboard a man of war. I wish I played the mandolin aboard a man of war. Some's gone away aboard a man of war. They sing on. You feel for the instrument you're looking for as the song goes on, and you find it. The familiar curves of the violin he's calling to you, so you get it free and pluck at the instrument from its carefully molded con. You find a seat and just get into singing, playing as the next spot opens up. I wish I was the fiddler aboard a man of war. Them's gone away aboard a man of war. I wish was the fiddler aboard a man of war. Sam's gone away aboard a man of war. You sing and join in the right places for all to join after you. As you sing and play, the room reverberates around you, and you can feel and sense every wall and each person in their place as they move about. Like you said, there's more to seeing than just seeing. Of course, you couldn't just join in for one song. Others want you for more, and honestly, you could do with grounding yourself properly before your appointment later. Given the violin in your hands, you already know what you need to play. It needs to echo into the darkness that you're in. Is Johnny here? You ask the drummer near you. You're not too loud about it, but apparently he and his favorite band are about and more than happy to scramble onto the stage. You don't need to tell them what to play because as you start to pull each note from your lone violin, they fall away right away with you. The room comes into focus all around you, not in any way of seeing that you ever could or would explain to anyone else. Nothing that shows on any eye test, but you see beyond yourself, the mark of every person in this room as they move, play, sing, or just watch you all. At your side, your words begin and they help you, but you don't need them personally. You could just do this alone. Better not to, though, isn't it? I need to look this one up as well, but I do want to sing stuff. I look forward to when we get to shanties that I do know. I know at some point we're gonna do Bones in the Ocean. When we get to that, super excited for that. Let's try this. Alright. Better not to. A wiser man than I once spoke that life at heart is all a joke, but he was not embroiled in smoke, so pump me, boys, before we choke. Lead them and the band all sings together. Voices in the audience even joining in lighting them up in another shade of darkness in his mind's eye. Pump me, boys, and let her fly down to hell and up to the sky. Bend your backs and break your bones. We're just a million miles from home. You reach out further, beyond this bar, the one that covers it from the outside. Your bow moves on strings and does so much more. The image of my sweetheart's face, it fires the heart and sets the place. Whatever the time, whatever the place, I'll through the depths of space. Pump me, boys, and let her fly down to hell and up to the sky. Bend your backs and break your bones. We're just a million miles from home. You pick up the speed ever so slightly, just enough that the drummer has to catch himself to keep in time with you. But it's fine. The ship about you hums, filled with life and light and so much else. I long to lay atop my bed, pleasant dreams inside my head. Pumping's all get instead, I'll only sleep among the dead. Pump me, boys, and let her fly down and up to the sky. Bend your backs and break your bones. We're just a million miles from home. You look through the ship as an old shadow flickers through your words behind you, stretching out invisibly in the dark. Distantly across the ship, familiar darkness hulks its way underfoot across the floor. My blood is pooling on the floor, and every second I lose more. There's so many meds in store, I'll do the work of 3 or 4. Singing, pump me, boys, let her fly down to hell and up to the sky. Bend your backs and break your bones, we're just a million miles from home. You can picture it, your ship soaring through space, heading towards the next planet, to Somnos, and then eventually on to another and another, always going forward. The engine fumes will scorch your lungs, smog is thick, your eyes are stuck, but there's no cleaner left to run. This pumping business ain't much fun. Singing, pump me, boys, let her fly down to hell and up to the sky. Bend your backs and break your bones, we're just a million miles from home. The dark of space presses in all around you in the impossible bubble of life and light going through it, a statistical error in an otherwise almost completely empty universe. If you had averaged out every spare meter of space in the universe, then this shift is a complete fluke. And yet here you are. The outer hull, the shot is held, the breast has just one plasma cell. My joints and muscles ache and swell, so fuck the road and you as well. Pump me, boys, and let her fly down to hell, up to the sky. Bend your backs and break your bones, we're just a million miles from home. Not just the band singing now, everyone in the room is, because of course they all know the words. Maybe a few of the new ones to Tortuga don't yet, but this is how they learn. Better to pick it up now than later, isn't it? A transport missing, gone awry, attacked by coal and left to fry. It is no excuse, boys, let us cry. Today is not the day we die. Bumpy boys, let her fly down to hell and up to the sky. Bend your backs and break your bones, we're just a million miles from home. You turn your focus from the ship and its destination ahead to the path you've come from, to what's behind you. You look to see the darkness, and thankfully the band picks up on your pace and announces the tempo change. You play faster and faster as they sing faster still. You stare blinded into the darkness behind the ship, to the things that chase you in the darkness and the encroaching end. You pull the last note out and hear it bounce around the room. Everything is fine. We're all good. You flash the band a grateful smile, and your ears pick up at the sound of the barman approaching you to your right with drinks and food. Oh, hey, thanks. You thank him and sit down. Go on with what you want. I'll jump in and out. It's cool. You assure the band and pick up your coffee. They launch into another song as you sip the hot coffee through the thick cream on top of your drink, all while the whiskey in it warms your throat. The food is good, and once you're done eating, you do play a few songs just for fun with whoever else feels like taking the stage, even trading your borrowed violin for a borrowed guitar at one point. You're not as good with the guitar, but you're still good, and you should really practice more at home. Unfortunately, not all that. Unfortunately, it's not all that long until your watch buzzes is with your alarm, and you have to finish up the song, and you're on and go. After you set the guitar down, you tap the alarm off your watch. Just doing that reminds you that you should update the status feed since you're here. You sit down at the bar for just a moment, your head resting in your palm with your ear close to your watch that you can hear as it reads things out. Oh, your thumb hovers over. You know where Trollian is without needing to tell you, but you slowly hover your thumb over the chat list on the left to find what you're looking for. Strider game night. That's tonight. Since it's at the top of the chat, you can only assume that there's shit being talked about who's going to win. At least you, Rose and Hal, are a united front on inviting Soul. It's not fair to host it at your place and exclude him. Strylux Hive chat. Nope. Alpha Crew. Also no. Movie night, bitches. Shit, when's June's next movie night? Check and balance. Ah, there you go. Leica, check. Megalodon. Okay. Check. Megalodon. Balanced. There you go. That's your job done. Come on, Beck, let's go. You tell him and reach a hand out. Beck's wet nose bumps your fingers. You stand from your seat and trail your fingers down Beck's collar. With a wave goodbye to the bar in general and leave with a chorus of goodbyes. You know the way to Equius' lab enough that you don't have to consult any signs on the way and rely on their dubious braille translation. A short stretch of transportation and a casual walk later, you're inside the offices of the Bionic Enhancement Department. Most people here are in need of things like valves for their blood pressures or the occasional prosthetic hand or leg. Eyeballs are a cool and rare thing, which on one hand can get a little annoying when people stare, but on the other hand, it means you always get Equius's full attention. Dave, could you come with me, please? Dave, could you come with me, please? Equius, Equius's voice comes from the far side of the room, jolting you from the absent patterns you've been stroking soft fur. Sure, yeah. You nod and get up. Ike's head bumps into your palm when you walk towards Equius's voice. Just through here. The sensor's a little broken at the moment, so I'll hold it so it doesn't shut on you. Equius apologizes as you slip past him through the doorway. Always appreciate not being sliced in half by a door. Beck, sit. You say and motion for Beck to sit down by the wall. You can't have him in the way when Equius is going to be moving around and working on you. You reach for the tipped back examination chair in the room. It always puts you in mind of going to the dentist with the white, clean plastic surface and the way it's reclined backwards. After a second, you hear Equius give up with the door, which, of course, closes perfectly smoothly by the sound of it, right as he's turned his back on it. He pulls his squeaky wheeled chair over to you, and the synthetic leather wheezes slightly as he sits on it. So, the modifications went perfectly well. You should be able to handle the extreme temperatures better on your next mission, and deal with the contrast and bright snow. Equius tells you in the back tells you to the background creak and snap of him putting latex gloves on. Awesome. Wear and tear all good? Not that tear is a word I like when talking about eyes. Wow, I just grossed myself out. You cringe a little as the words tumble out, but you catch the soft huff of Equius's quiet laugh. All within expected parameters. I'm going to have to alter the fluid for your tear ducts to deal with the climate. Like I said, but I'll numb and you won't feel a thing. I do feel the need to warn you that it does have a slight black tinge to it. Not that this is a concern with your eye design, but if you were to cry, it might be a little alarming. What I'm getting is that I should tell no one and then look amazingly heavy metal on the very rare occasion that I cry. Amazing. Maybe I should get Karkat to host a romance movie night and then freak the fuck out of everyone there. Maybe I can pretend to be possessed. You grin. Language, and I do not condone this choice. Equius reprimands you as he opens something. You don't know what it is, but you hear the latch flick open. But thanks to doctor-patient confidentiality, you can't warn anyone. You say brightly, and Equius's deep sigh tells you that you are completely right on that. Excellent. All right, I have the shot here. If you wanted to listen to music instead of paying attention to this, then you're welcome. Just give me a thumbs up when I tap your shoulder and you can't feel me touching your cheek. Equius warns you. It's not your first rodeo, so you do nod and put your headphones in and let the guy do his work. You're not a squeamish guy. Your upbringing pretty much made sure of that. Not to mention that your job you've had to be medically trained, and that requires a decently strong stomach. All the same, there's a certain amount of, yeah, when it's your own face, you'd rather not pay more attention to someone working than you have to. Eventually, Equius does needs your input and squeezes your shoulder in an agreed upon way to bring you back into focus. I can't feel my nose and my lips feel weird, you tell him. Your tongue feels fine, though, he checks. You run your tongue against your teeth and nod. Good. I wouldn't want you to hurt yourself. Usual calibration, if you please. Vertical axis, please. Up to 12. Good. Down. Yes, good. Down to 6. Good. Across 9. And yes, over to 3. Equius instructs you. Equius flickers into focus at once, leaving you blinking away the sudden shock of vision. Got it, you tell him. Excellent. How does the focus look? Change from my finger to the far wall. Equius instructs you, holding his finger near the tip of your nose. You focus on it, seeing the haze of his finger through the thin latex. Shifting your gaze, everything in the distance immediately sharpens into perfect focus. All good, you say. Equius leans in with his little medical device. You're not sure what it's called. He takes a good look in your eye and gets you to do a certain amount of looking in every direction. When he's done, he leans back in his chair and presses the intercom button. Doctorist Mitzen, could you open your door for just a moment? He asks as he presses the button to open his door, too. Right now? Sure. The crackly voice down the line says. The hospital section that you're in is set out in a sort of hoof beast shoe shaped from Equius' open door. You can see the other wing on the other side of the building. Your focus sharpens as the door across that side opens. Could you read the bottom line for me, Dave? Equius asks, his finger still on the intercom button. You focus the distant office sharpening so much you could be standing in the room. PEZOLCFFTD. God damn. The doctor is down the line. Thank you, Mitzen. Equius takes his finger off the button and shuts his door again. No problem focusing back to this room? Equius checks. Nope, everything is perfect. Wonderful. Same advice as usual. Don't put anything in your eyes. Do not attempt to put any makeup or anything of the sort on your eyes until feelings come back. Just don't be foolish. You're cleared for duty at any time past 1600, but I know that Nepeta doesn't have you work until tomorrow, Equius says casually. He knows that you're not an idiot with your eyes, but he has to give warnings all the same. Good to know. Thanks again. Thanks again. You say gratefully and hop onto your feet. Beck gets up eagerly, his tail wagging to see you move about again. You give Equius a lazy and entirely unneeded salute, and he waves you goodbye with the appropriate paperwork appended to your file. You take Beck to the park and throw a stick for him to fetch for a while. You can tell when he starts to get bored with the game when each time you throw the stick, he brings back a different stick, and then starts finding bigger and bigger ones just to see what he can get away with. Beck is far too clever for his own good. You drop your beloved dog back to the captain's room, since he spends most of his time with her these days, and after that you head back to your hive. When you slip into your hive, you pause at the door. So look at the doorway. Solix is floating your lamp on your plank off the floor, but his attention is on Hal's open respite block door. Solix's attention is entirely on Hal's laughter, so much so uh, that it's only when Hal steps back into the main room that either of them notice you, and it's Hal who spot you first. Hey, we're back. Fuck, I always forgot how quiet you are, Solix says with a jump as he realizes you're there at all. Ninja skills. You and Hal say at the exact same time, in the exact same tone. Solix gives you a weird look and shakes his head. Where do you want this? Not that I mind levitating your furniture for ages, but you probably had somewhere in mind. Solix asks. Hal, gesturing to the aforementioned floating furniture. Just over there against the wall. I need to get the chairs out. Hal answers. Hal moves to press a panel on the wall which pops open to reveal the folding chairs neatly stowed inside. Without needing to be asked, you take the ones that Hal hands to you and start unfolding them and tossing them roughly in the direction where they need. Is this place going to be big enough for your whole family to do game night? Solix asks as he eyes up the chair assembly line you and Hal are going. It's not the whole family. Dad, Jane, and June aren't supposed to come, and we don't have partners. Dad was very insistent that when we got here, we had a Strider family only tradition, so it became this. Hal explained. Dad was so sweet to you back then. He still is, but you weren't used to it as a kid. He didn't want you to lose the identity of your family, of the family you were, even as you became part of his family. He always tried to preserve your cultural identity as well as sharing his own with you. He focused on the food and the music. Shit, he learned Spanish for the wedding. Even thinking about that puts you at risk of testing aqueous warning about the changing color of your tears. Wait, if Briar's only, then why am I in this? Solix asks in alarm. We're not making you stay out of a game night happening in the hive you live in, you tell him. Yeah, I can just hand the thing in my pocket. It's not a big deal. I don't want to intrude, Solix says hastily. Too bad. We've invited you. Also, the question was brought before the Strider Council, and we all voted that you're going to play. Also, if you wanted a vote, you should have thought about that before not being a Strider. Really, this is on you, Al tells him friendly. Dirk has been told to not be a dick, you add helpfully. Slux looks at you and then Hal suspiciously. Does that work? He asks. Oh, no. You say flatly. Not even once has that ever worked. Hal nods. Why did I ever agree to live here? Solix wonders. Hal doesn't seem to have an answer to that, but he does have a folded up chair, so he gives Solix that. Hey, something, right? We're probably going to play a card game, just normal shit like poker and whatever. Maybe cheat, Hal says, as he pulls the game table out of a different cupboard set into the wall. Oh man, I hate cheat. I almost never win. You complain. Because you're a shit liar. Hal retorts. I don't know cheat. What's cheat? Solix asks curiously as he helps Hal set the table out and unfold it properly. So you get 2 decks of cards since it's going to be 6 of us. You deal all of the cards out to everyone equally. So then the first player can put down a number of cards between 1 and 4, but you have to play something. You can put them face down and say what it is, like 3 threes or something. Then if Dave was next, he'd have to put down either 2s, 3s, he'd have to either put 2s, 3s, or 4s down. The thing is, you can lie about what you've put down. So if there's only 8 4s in the 2 decks and I've got 5, and you say you're putting 4 down, I know you're lying. So then someone calls you out on your shit. Your cards are turned over, and if you lied, you pick them all up. You go until someone, usually Rose, is all out of cards. Finish explaining. Rose just sapped all of your card skills from you in the womb. Huh. Hal teases. That's definitely how it works with human pregnancies. It's definitely how that works with human pregnancies, you say flatly. Makes sense. Weird mammal reproduction. I buy that. Solix nods. I bet you thought you'd get lists of shit in this hive with Rose moving out. You didn't actually expect that. You agreed to this for reasons entirely unrelated to how much Rose gets your metaphorical goat. Would it be a nice perk to not always be mocked in your own home? Perhaps. But you never experienced that, so how the hell would you know? I can't believe you'd betray me like this, man. You say to Solix instead of any of that. You will also be feeling complete defeat as well as betrayal. Card games aren't my normal kind of game, but I'm the best there is at games. I'm sure Hal can talk about that, Solix says with a mean smile. I regret everything, Hal says flatly and walks back into his room to get snacks that uses foods he brought earlier. Dave, have you heard about the time I absolutely destroyed him in Mortal Kombat? Solix asked innocently. Hal glares daggers at him over an armful of drink bottles, and you smell blood in the water. Gosh, it's the strangest thing. I absolutely have not. You definitely did tell me in detail right now, you say, as earnestly as you can possibly manage. Hal's frustrated scream delights you, and you absolutely don't bring it up when the rest of your siblings arrive. Surely not. No, never. As everyone gets settled, they all ask for their drinks, and Solix helps Hal with them as you go get the cards from Hal's room. As you're sliding them out of the pack, you catch Solix's quiet conversation with Hal. That good hearing of yours helping you out again. So, none of you drink, like, ever? Solix asks in a whisper. No, none of us. Our mom had a real problem with alcohol, and and out of all of us, only Roxy ever tried booze, and it started to be a real problem for her. She stopped before it got anywhere or really bad, and me and Dirk agreed we never would, and the twins followed suit. Aside from Roxy, none of us have ever had any alcohol anywhere. Ever. Hal says back quietly. Dave had a coffee with alcohol in it earlier in the chapter. I'd just like to point that out. It took me a bit to realize that the first time I read this, but yeah, that's a thing he did. Cool. Not a problem. I just don't want to, Solix mutters. You step out of Hal's room with cards in your hand, acting like you never heard a thing. Hal was saying about cheat and Solix never played, so we're doing that. And I'm shuffling because you guys aren't trustworthy. You inform your siblings that are already sat at the table. I can't believe you'd ever say that. Dirk. Oh, it's actually. I can't believe you'd ever say that. Dirk says flatly. I've never been more offended in my life. Rose agrees just as emotional. You're talking shit because we're going to destroy you. Roxy grins. Oh yeah? You ask. You say back as you shuffle. Yeah. Oh yeah? You say again. This goes on for long enough for drinks to be dispensed to each person, and for Hal and Solix to have sat down. Yeah! Roxy says loudly. Oh yeah? You demand back. Shut your faith hole and deal, Solix insists from his place at your immediate left. Since you asked so nicely, you say, and start flipping the cards across the table. It doesn't take long at all for you to get the two decks divvied out between everyone, and when you deal the last card, you gesture for Solix to start, since he was so impatient. Naturally, everyone has to sort their cards out, except for Roxy, who refuses to ever do that for maximum chaos. You sort yours by suit, so it's orderly to you, but confusing for everyone else. Middle ground in the extreme. I do not have enough hands for this. 3 jacks. I'm writing a thing that eighth loop everything, right? Solux asks has set 3 cards down. Solux asks Hal as he sets 3 cards down. Cheat, Dirk says before Solux even takes his hand off the cards. He only just beats Rose. Wow, the guy's first time, and you two can't even be gentle. Definitely Dirk first, though. Roxy nods. I'm the only person who has played. You have no way of knowing anything. Solix protests. Yes, but if you were to cheat, this is a relatively risk-free time to try. Also, you covered up your play by asking a question on game mechanics. Rose adds. You've gotta turn your cards over, tells Solix. Solix looks annoyed, but he flips his hand over to show a random spread of 3 cards and not one of them jacks. My turn, Hal says as Solix shuffles his cards back into his hand. 2 aces, Hal says, setting them down. 3 aces, Dirk follows. Thanks, just to make it super hard if anyone wants to go back around again. Cool. Geez, there's. Okay. 3 twos. We'll go low, Roxy says and puts her cards on the pile. 1 ace. How's married life treating you then, Dirk? Rose asks. How is that not suspicious? If me talking was enough to get people to tell me to cheat, why not Ruth? You're welcome to call it, you say lightly as you shift your cards. Your fingers graze over a king and an ace, but instead you move to pick a 3 up. If you're going to call anything, you have to do it before Dave puts a card down, and it's fine. Having a wedding doesn't technically change. Dirk answers. Are you gonna? You check with Solix? Solix stares Rose down, but crumbles and shakes his head in resignation. Light 1 king, you say as you set your 3 face down on the pile. Cheat, Rose says before your fingers even lose your card. You shouldn't be allowed to play this game. It's not fair. You protest and flip the card over to show that you're in fact lying. How did you know? Solix asks as you scoop the other cards up. Barely any of them are what they're supposed to be. He was hedging too much, trying to get you to call Rose because he didn't have the card. Al says also. I blame the dealer, you say wisely, and slot the cards into your hand in the right place. Great, so I can start anywhere now? Solix checks and ends up playing 3-7, so the game goes on. So, Solix, how are you finding living with my brothers? It's fine. Never really had hive mates before, so it's kind of weird, but it's nice being able to play games in person with Hal. Solix answers as Hal states his cards and sets them down. And me, you add. He's just not that into you, Dave, Hal says with a mean little smile. No, that wasn't what I meant. You two are never going to let this go, are you? Solix groans, putting his face in his hands and pushing his glasses into his head. Every day, my heart shatters. You snap. 3-9. What's this? Tell me, I have to know, Dirk asks. When Dave was moving in Solix told him that they weren't friends. Also, the tears just won't stop. You snap. Poor baby. Poor 10. Playing her. Cheat. You say just before Dirk gets there. Roxy curses and picks up the card. Look, no, it wasn't like that. It was just me. Me and Hal are friends. We hung out together before all of this a bunch of times. I was willing to. anything to do him that stupid favor, but it's like, I mean, the difference between being actively friends and just being part of the same group. Solix insists. Like you and me, Rose says. Yes, exactly, Solix says in relief. Rose presses a hand to her chest, sucks in a trembling breath, her eyes flooding with unshed tears as she looks at him. You mean we're not friends? Rose whispers. Solix's expression is somewhere between horror and rage all at once. Oh my god, your fucking face! Roxy wheezes, banging her fist on the table. Rose, that was unsporting. Holy shit, I'm actually kind of upset that I don't live here to watch this on a daily basis. Dirk says with a shake of his head. I'll start a newsletter. Al assures him with a reassuring pat on the shoulder. We officially hate all Striders. You all. Nah, you love us. Rose, play already. You say and pat Solix reassuringly on the back. Teasing Solix is one thing, but you don't want to actually upset him. He elbows you in the side, but his expression has shifted to something more like fond exasperation. Rose states her cards, and with a moment's thought, you do the same. Oh, guess what? Dave showed Solix mad snacks you. Also proudly. Solix reads out his cards, then Dirk stares at him. Rose and Roxy are both rolling their eyes. They're delighted with what's to come. What did you think? Dirk asks slowly. Solix shoots you a look, but you don't know if your expression of anticipation is helpful. That I have no idea how anyone made a game that bad. It's kind of inverse scale. A bad game just won't run. This runs so fantastically terribly that it's a whole new thing. It's horrible eldritch art. I'm amazed. It's great. Solix tells him honestly. I blame you for this. Al adds hopefully. Don't care. I'm calling it. I like this one. We're keeping him. Dirk nods. Thanks. Solix says slowly and uncertainly. Oh boy, 2 9s. Al says. Cheat. Solix says this instantly. Fuck you too. Al grumbles and scrapes the card towards himself. It's really nice to see Solix starting to relax into things with your family. You know you can be a lot. You also hope it's something of a distraction from Aradia. Wait, no, I can count. Dave, no way you're putting 2 6s down. There should only be one left. Cheat. Rose's Roxy accuses you later. We're assuming that Rose wasn't cheating? Solix snorts. If you're so sure about that, why don't you call me on it? Rose asks sweetly. That is what she wants you to do. The point is, 2 6s. Eat it. You grin at Roxy as you flip your cards over. So your strategy is to play as truthfully as possible, making other people pick up. Solix says thoughtfully as he looks at you over his shrinking hand of cards. I'm not as good as liars as some people at this table. It's the only choice I have. Your palm husk chimes loudly, starting you and Solix both. Hey, no calls, Al protests. It's emergency services. I don't know why they'd call me. Keep playing. You stay distractedly and answer the call. Strider, you answer. What's Coopram's typing for? Coopram. Okay, it's that. That's too much out. Dave, it's Coopram. The care's outside the ship doing maintenance, and I had to patch in because there was this tech weirdness, but he's talking weird. It might be nothing, but after everything you said, he's near your hive section of the ship. It says uneasily. He's outside right now? You ask. A sinking feeling starts to take hold of you. Yeah, on at the arrays. I'm on the way to the airlock. Patch me in, you tell Kufram as you quickly get up to the table. The others are asking you what's wrong, but you hurry out of the door. Patching, Kufram says. Call beeps for a moment or two as you run down the corridor. Officer Ratite, are you there? Yes, sharply. You shoulder through the doorway and hear a faint exhale in your ear. Vicaire! You snap. Dave? Vicaire asks, voice hazy. Yes, Vicaire, I need you to tell me where you are right now and what you're doing. You insist as you hurry down the flights of stairs and you sprint for the airlock down the hall. I was just mending the array. It's nothing, but have you seen the stars tonight? Vicaire breathes. No, no, no. Which array? I need the serial number on that. Read that to me. You tell him. Not that you need it at all, but you do need to him to look at something close. You burst into the airlock antechamber and kick your shoes off. You snag a suit of your size from the locker and scramble into it, all while your palm husk on speaker plays you cares distant. The array? He asks. Yes, the array you're working on. It has a number. I need it. You insist, smoothing the seal up your chest. You tap the palm husk to your chest and everything immediately sinks. You jam the helmet on your head and twist and seal it. It's almost certainly in the logs. You can look up sort of. The care says dreamily. You snap one glove on and then another, twist the lock and helmet, pressurize the pressure stable. Vicaire, I'm coming out there and you can show me in person. You tell him as you dash into the airlock. The door slams shut behind you and the airlock depressurizes for a moment. And then the external doors open. The great yawning expanse of the universe opens up before you, but you ignore it. Instead, you grab hold of the edge of the airlock and swing it. Show you, yes, so much I can show you. The endless possibility of the great light yonder. I can see. The care breathes. The care, I'm ordering you to turn around and come back to the airlock this instant. You bark out the order. You're not officially that much higher than him, but you outrank him in other ways. No, you don't understand. The care protests. You kick and pull your way along the outside of the ship as fast as you can. You go faster this way than with the propulsion system set into your suit, and as fast as what you want. It's beautiful out here, he says dreamingly, and your eyes sharpen on the distant figure of the care as he tethers himself to the ship. You're not tethered, but you know what the fuck you're doing. The care, tether back on immediately, you shout. The care twist is slowly turning in the vacuum of space, and the shine of the life off his helmet is pure reflected white. His suit is shining like a lens flare, and no matter much how your eyes are set up to deal with brightness, low contrast, it's barely more than a cut figure. If reality was a screen held up between you and the brightest possible light, and someone, as if reality was a screen held up between you and the brightest possible light, and someone had made it care, but it. You shout his name again, flashing as fast as you can the dark to cut time down to him, but it's no use. His hands reach up to his helmet. You can see it all. His hands jerk up and Vicaire's helmet comes free. The sudden loss of pressure and his suit's desperate attempts to pressurize the entire rest of the universe launching Vicaire backwards, slamming his body through the array he'd been repairing and then bouncing into open space. You shout back to control what's happening, but what you're doing is all autopilot. Instead, you focus on launching yourself up off the ship into space after him. You correct your velocity and trajectory with your suit's own propulsion, but there's only so much you can do. What happens to a body when exposed to the vastness of space in zero pressure environment is both something that TV and movies used to think about, but it's something you've seen firsthand and twice now. Liquid boils at zero pressure. The air is ripped from your lungs. Your suit has a secondary breathing mask to assist in the event. Disaster. The idea is that you're not able to plug it in, that you're able to plug it over someone else's helmet and repressurize them as you wait for an assist. It does nothing for the rest of it. Exposed he is to the vacuum of space. Press the mask to his face, hoping to force air into his lungs. But you don't have any hope of it helping. At the proximity to his suit, you can see his vitals, and across the bordered flat line of his vitals. He can't hear you. Even if you were anywhere near his even if you were anywhere near his helmet to put it back on him, all the air in his inner ear is blown out. Also, he's dead. Still, you let your suit's propulsion carry you back to the ship as you hold the supplementary mask to the pair's face and stare at his all white eyes and quietly sing for him. Your suit is bleeding oxygen. You can hear the rest of the emergency team is rushing to you, but you don't take your eyes off the body. Instead, you sing of waves is in the journey as the pair's clumsy direction from his hands bump against your helmet. The emergency crew pull you both to the raft and start trying to revive him for all the good he will do. Another shuts down your supplementary line, and when you're through the airlock and on the emergency track to the hospital, they take your suit off and check you over as well. The palm husk transfer display shows on the shed front that pulls at you when you open the channel. Leica, unbalanced. Pagalasi. Was that you? Burke. Balancing now. Hold for update. The dock terrorists check you over. You kept your mask on care for another half hour. You have a real problem. You're fine. Just a little shaken. As per protocol, you have to sit there for Nepeta Trident report and some random head shrinker to listen in and assess you. From the beginning, if you please, take your time, the shrink says gently. You turn your focus to Nepeta. Coopram called me saying that Vicaire was out there and he was sounding strange. Not enough to warrant calling the EMS for. There weren't any tech problems with the suit as far as Coopram told me. I live near the airlock that Vicaire was near, so I agreed to go out there and see. Vicaire seemed disoriented and confused, and I tried to get him to focus on the ship and wait for me to get there. I can only assume that there was a leak in his suit somewhere. Either he was getting poisoned with his cold air, or the suit had a slow leak that the O2 system wasn't covered. I don't know. I got inside of him and his helmet. The force of the decompression threw him around. I made intercept, but his suit already read that he was dead. I kept air on him anyway, but he was dead on arrival when we got him. That's terribly traumatic, Dave, Ned says with no sympathy. I've seen it before. I know I did everything I could. It all happened so fast. I just feel bad for Vicaire, you answered, balancing honesty with sympathy. It wasn't your fault, I know. State as you mean. It wasn't your. This must be especially troubling for you, though, Dave. I know the sailors are often aware of the risks of the job, but death by decompression seems like it would be a personal sore spot with your father. The shrink pronounces the word oddly, like the concept of father is unfamiliar to her. It was it it was to you as well for a while. This isn't anything like that. Vicaire's death was a mistake. It's not the same. You can ask my regular doc terrorist about it. I'm all fine with that. This isn't bringing up anything. I don't see it the same at all. You tell her. Quite simply. The scrape of rose booth on the ridged edge of the air, like the hiss of the ceiling. Your shape, blurry but there. I feel terrible that this happened to Vicaire. He was a good person, but accidents happen. I'm probably going to check my gear a lot more carefully for a while and maybe have a few bad dreams, but an accident is way different than an execution. But I take your point. I'll bring it up with my regular therapist when I see him. I'm sure he'll want to clear me in good time before the next mission. You smile, like you're trying to look on the bright side. Well, all the same, I'll be writing a recommendation that you have a few days off at least, and I'll forward all this information to your regular practitioner. Doctor, I. You falter long enough to waver slightly and then nod with your eyes. Thanks, Doc. I appreciate it. It'll be fine. I wish I could say the same for him. The doc terrorist stands and sets a hand on her shoulder. It wasn't your fault, he says, her blue blood eyes all compassion. You nod, small but there, and give a forced smile. The doc terrorist bids her goodbyes, and you and Nepeta both. You wait for a few moments until you hear leave through a distant door and let your soldiering on bravely through it expression. It's not my fault, you say coldly to Nepeta. What really happened? Nepeta asks quietly. He pulled his fucking helmet off somehow and kept clawing at me after. I told you that he wasn't safe. I told you not to take him out of the ship. And you let him stay cleared for external work? I fucking warned you. And now tomorrow we're going to have to bury him. What are we going to do for Somnos now? Demand angrily. I know it. Nepeta falters as you look and looks down at her. You need to talk to Aradia. Jade's trying to talk her around, but you start. I don't need you to tell me how to do my job. I still outrank you. I had other concerns and didn't see that this was going to be as big of a risk as it turned out to be. But you don't know everything. Nepeta tells her voice. Am I dismissed? You ask, her voice stiff. Dismissed, Strider. I'll send you the details of. Nepeta says quietly. You turn and march right out of there without so much as looking back to the front. The journey back to your hive is done more or less in autopilot as you strive very diligently to think of nothing at all. When you walk back through the door and it's Solix who gets to his feet first, your siblings are right after. We've been trying to get in touch with you. You didn't answer our messages, Roxy says sharply, and concern her. Right, you synced your palm husk to your suit, but you left the actual device in the airlock chamber. You didn't pick it back up when you went past Care's body on the stretcher. Sorry, I left it behind. You apologized. Who died? I heard someone real close die, and they thought about you. What? You blurt out and stare at him. Solix has psionics. One of them is hearing people's thoughts just before they die. It has to be kind of close to do that, but didn't you know about that, Alice? You shake your head. This is a bad time to joke about not knowing enough about Solix because you're not friends. The care was out there and acting weird, so I got a call. I went to check on him. I tried to get there as fast as I could, but he faltered. There's hands on his helmet, turning it. No accident. It was no accident. His helmet came off. He died. So Rose's expression goes distant and shuts down. No doubt remembering the last time you both saw your father. It's probably worse for her. She saw every detail from where the two of you were hiding. You don't talk about it. What? But helmets can't come off outside the ship. They have to pass through an airlock to have unlocking be an option. It's a safety feature. Kirk insists. Must have been a malfunction, especially if he was already acting loopy. It could have been affecting his O2 as well. Jesus, Dave, I'm so sorry. Roxy whispers that last part. Rose shakes her head and seems to come back to herself. She draws a deep breath and it's not your fault, she says gently. I know. No, he agrees that. I wish dearly that you could have done more, but you did all you could. From the time you were alerted to the problem was already too late. It was just that neither of you knew that then. You shudder a little and pull back. I think I'm gonna get my palm husk and stay with Jade. I just want to not. You know? You say quietly to her. I understand that. Tell me if you. Rose says gently and squeezes your hand. The last point of contact. You let her go and wandered mindlessly out of your hive, tracing your steps to the airlock. There's an a incident team there. There always is if someone dies unexpectedly. On a ship like this, you have to be aware of equipment malfunctions and disease outbreaks. You have to get on things fast. They're not equipped for what really happened. They don't know that. I left my palm husk. Can I say about it? One of the staff adults, recognizing you and spotting your ID hanging around. They give you the palm husk back before you leave. You glance down at Trolley and your last channel is open. Pegalassi. Lock you offline, I guess. Pegalassi. I got it. We're fine. I have no idea what Nepeta is going to say about this. Should have seen it sooner. I was out and distracted. Can't be undone. Just got a deal. They don't. The message Jade instead. Jade, can I stay with you? Dave, of course. Wait, maybe not. I might be somewhat drunk. I really don't care. It's just that I was out with Aradia trying to cheer her up, and we had a few drinks, and you don't, and I don't want to upset you. Cool, I just saw a guy die. I don't care how off your face you are right now, as long as you can type that stubborn enough for me. Wait, what, Dave? Are you serious? But care. Well, yeah, I am sobering up. Not that it was that bad, but yeah, come over. God, are you okay? I'll be fine. Be there in a bit, okay? Get to her place like gravity itself has itself pulled you there. For all you know, you slid across the floors. The ship's gravity rewired as you pinballed from floor to floor on your way. Your focus is stuck in that moment. It's not that the mind is gone to dark. You're familiar with that, but it's frightening. It's the light reflected burning off the terrorist's suit, the totally white surfaces of his eyes. It's after any you recall life had burned away. There's bile in your throat, but you've been through much space training to throw up. That's an urge they very much want out of you. No one wants that on a rocket launch. You're good. You're okay. You're Dave. You blink. Jade is in the doorway. Her hive giving you a word. You didn't ring the bell. The sensor said you'd been standing there for a while. Jade says, her tone on. Sorry, spaced out. You laugh weakly and smile. You know it. Jade slides her arm around you and guides her into your hive. And guides you into her hive. You kick off your boots again and fall onto the bed. Jade takes a seat on her desk chair and gets you very concerned if slightly hazy. I'm so sorry. Do you want to talk about it? Jade asks. What can I say? He didn't deserve that. It wasn't my fault. I did what I could. He's still dead. That's all I can say. You shrug. Jade frowns for a moment as she combs her fingers through her hair, separating out one section to glide her fingers. Would you rather talk about something else to distract you, or do you just want to go to bed? Yeah. Tell me how your night was and get ready for bed at the same time, you suggest? Jade nods and flips her hair forward together a bit on top of her bed. I was out with Aradia, like I said. She seemed a little. Jade sighs and flips back upright, winding her hair around until she can grab Scrunchy and contain it. She seemed really lonely, I think. She was saying how she missed Solix, which I can understand. If you've lived with someone for so long, that not was strange. But the way she talked about it was like she'd been lonely for a long time. Jade said sadly. I don't know how that can just happen. You say a little numbly as Jade walks past you to the bathroom. You go in there after her and go unzip the back of her dress for her. Out of reflex, she moves to pull her hair away, but of course she's already tied it up. I mean, I guess the hard thing is that when you're with someone, it's like you just assume you're a certain way and just slip your focus and want to work instead and grow up and Grade trails off as her dress slips the tiled floor. She turns around to look at you and reaches back down for her bra. In the spirit of being helpful, you pick up her dress for her. I tried to get her to have a good time at least. Like you said, nothing I could. Nothing, Like you said, nothing I said can undo what she's been through. So there's no point in agonizing about it. We talked about work, like what we're excited for on the next planet, Jade says in a voice that's a little brighter. She tosses you her bra and underwear, which you dump over the back of the desk chair and toss in the laundry respectively. The sound of the shower running fills the air, so you hook up back in there and watch her washing her face under the spray. You hope the mission will still go ahead without the care, but you don't know. You'll have to get someone to replace him, but you don't know who. Nepeta's considered your brothers at one point, but neither of them has the physical for it. Roxy's been to space before on a space station, set up much like they're doing this next time. She's already in the meetings. Maybe they'll try rope her into doing more. You don't know. You don't think they'll clear her planet side, though. And with Somnus as it is, you don't know how helpful it would be remotely. What are you looking forward to? Ask her. The plant life is pretty dull from what we've seen from Liberty's reports. I mean, us Ace Planet. Fauna's cooler, but not got time to see about taking enough samples to make a reasonable replicable stock for meat production, or even seeing if they're viable for us to eat. Jade shrugs. You watch soap bubbles slide down slickly down into the back. It's better if you focus on details. You watch her fingers run over her skin and spread soap butter. Better to think of that than obviously what we're really hoping for is that we're drilling, we dig up the remains of an ancient society, stone tablets, buried bones, fossil record, the works. Jade giggles as she turns around in the shower to face you. You're so smart, you say, because it's true. She really is. Aw, babe. Jade grins a little sloppily, but still lovingly. Maybe she's not that drunk. You don't think she is, but you're not really used to whatever Jade's tolerance is. You don't have a personal problem with alcohol like the others, but you do generally experience but your general experience with booze these days is either around socially drinking, commiserating, celebrating something, or people taking the edge off. Seeing people absolutely shit faced is more annoying than intimidating to you. Everyone deals with shit differently. Your mom was a functioning alcoholic. Subatomic string theory, relatively, and sit there in a corner and cry kind of science were all done halfway through a bottle of something nearly medical grade. Your mom looking actually drunk was a sign that she was really far gone, and no one liked that. As far as your siblings were concerned, your mom was fine when she was sober or only slightly drunk, but was only mean when she was really drunk. That negative association makes sense. It's just not how you feel. It's easier to act like it is and go along with what others think. You only drink around work people anyway. It's not, and even then, it's not like your mom used to. She probably still drinks like that, huh? Even if they don't let her have booze wherever she is, you bet she gets it. She made moonshine in your sink. She'd manage it. Dave, Jade jars you back to into the present. You probably shouldn't be thinking about your alcoholic mother while you're watching your girlfriend shower. That's another thing you're not bringing up to your mandated therapist. You've got one to prove you're sane enough for missions. How the fuck a Gamzee passes you don't know, but you really don't want that discussion. Not that it'd stop you from flying; it'd just make the doctor pity you and technic technically be airing mutual dirty laundry to one of Rogue's colleagues. Sorry, I tuned out for a minute there. You're just thinking it's rare, I know. Joke. Oh, it falls a little. What were you thinking about? She asked cautiously, watching for your reaction. Just about alcohol, about mom. Say honestly, Jason Phil face twisted with guilt. I'm sorry. He starts. No, really, I'd rather be here. Plus, you didn't know this was all gonna happen. Didn't know all this was gonna happen. It's fine. My mind just wandered through the place. Look, I'll shower now. Oh, you're out and we can sleep. If you're sure. Jade says gently and steps out of the shower, fully drying herself off. You shuck your own clothes quickly and step in the shower, washing without paying much attention. It feels better to be clean, to smell of soap instead of assorted scents of science and medicine. You're pretty averse to medical stuff, which would surprise people because of the whole eye thing and being a sailor. But you've got a nice Equus is a friend from school. He's Nepetta's Moirel for forever, and you trust the guy so you don't mind being in his care because it's chill. When you have to get your regular pre-fight flight physicals, you go seek out your sister, Jane. You're not really supposed to treat family, but just checking that your blood is okay, that your blood pressure is cool, and putting you through a few machines isn't much. Beyond that, you avoid anything medical or sciencey as much as you can. You're not a fan of having your reactions to everything carefully observed like a squeak beast in a maze. You're not a fucking test subject or object of study and investigation. Fuck that noise. No, you'd much rather be under the care of a friend, a family member, and at worst an easily manipulated stranger. Your mandated therapist isn't hard to lie to. People for some reason forget that you and Rose have shared a space your entire lives. You play the same instruments, think in similar ways, and you didn't share a high at several points a block with her when she was studying for her job without learning how to fake diagnostically normal. Great, your mind has gone to weird places again. Whatever. You smack the tap to stop the water, ignoring the little timer set into the wall to remind you how much you're using. You step out and scrub yourself dry, or dry enough at least. Jade, it always has some of your clothes that are good enough to sleep in stashed at the place so you can change and slip under the sheets. I love you, you say softly against her bare shoulder. Love you too. Jade says back and reaches up and strokes the hair with her fingers. It'll probably dry if I'm after tomorrow. That's a problem for tomorrow's you. You right now is curled up around Jane in bed. Jade, not Jane. In this fic, they're siblings. Weird. You right now is curled up around Jade in bed, sharing body heat and the emotional comfort of someone who's okay with the gift of you that aren't. Chapter end. So, next chapter is Solux get to do a Shantano, and also Solux has some opinions on some things. As we can tell, it's going to be an interesting thing. But that was chapter 6, the chapter that notably I didn't read my first time. Like, I tried to pick it up, like stopped right before and didn't read that, and thought it was getting boring, and there wasn't enough angst. I am a fool and a buffoon. Uh, Thanks for anyone who did come. We're done for the evening. I don't know when I'll stream again. It's finals week, which for me actually means I'm pretty available to do things. So we'll see, but thank you and good night.